Friends, heartily welcome to Media Friends Siddharaju channel. Friends, today I am going to talk about the vacuum energy. Before going to talk about the vacuum energy, I would like to talk about what is the vacuum. What is the vacuum? Vacuum is a free space. What is a free space? Free space means the space which is empty. It does not contain any kinds of energy and any kinds of matter. Is it right? Our common sense says it is right and our physics says it is wrong. Then, according to physics, what is a vacuum? Vacuum is a free space which contains virtual quantum fluctuations or virtual zero point fluctuations. The energy of these fluctuations is called the zero point energy. The minimum energy of these fluctuations is half h nu or half h f, where f is the frequency of the quantum fluctuations and h is the Planck's constant. Friends, vacuum contains the virtual energy. It looks strange and it is real. Friends, now I would like to talk about a brief history of zero point energy or the vacuum energy. Nikola Tesla was the first person observed or analyzed this zero point energy, and he made the statement like this: a kinetic energy is present throughout the space. In future, our machinery will be driven by a energy obtainable at any point in the universe. This statement was clearly indicated that the existence of a kind of kinetic energy in the empty space. In 1900, Max Planck introduced his quantum theory of light. Through its constant h is equal to 6.625 into 10 to the power of minus 34 joules second. He introduced the concept of discrete form of electromagnetic field or the discrete form of light. This is one of the fundamental concepts to understand the real electromagnetic field or the virtual electromagnetic field in the free space. In his paper about the blackbody radiation, the blackbody radiation equation contains the residual factor 1 half of quantum as an additional term of 1 by 2 h nu or hf, which is always greater than 0. This Planck equation gives birth to the concept of the quantum of energy. Albert Einstein in 1905 he introduced the discontinuous distribution of electromagnetic energy in space and introduced a term light quanta or photon. It is also called a oscillator or a quantum oscillator. The average energy of oscillator available to each mode even when temperature reaches absolute zero. That is why it is called zero point energy. Later in 1909, Einstein published a paper which contains energy fluctuations of thermal radiation. In his 1913 paper, Albert Einstein calculated the specific heat of molecular hydrogen including zero point energy. After some decades, the developments in quantum mechanics gave the new tools. As a result of these tools, quantization of energy in the harmonic oscillator was developed and revealed the existence of the zero point energy in ground state. That means in the ground state of harmonic oscillator or in the ground state of quantum oscillator, people found the energy of hf, where h is the Planck constant and f is the frequency of the harmonic oscillator. The ground state means the vacuum state. In the vacuum state also, people were found out the energy. That is why it is called as the vacuum energy. Later in relativistic quantum mechanics, people were trying to find the solution for the Klein-Gordon equation, where the concept of negative energy was raised as shown in this equation. Friends, see this equation which contains both positive energy and negative energy. That is, energy has both positive sign and negative sign. That means the particle was showing both positive energy and negative energy. At the time, this negative energy part was strange and mysterious to the physics world, and the people were curious to know what that negative energy is and how the negative energy present in this universe or in this nature, and how this negative energy affects the positive energy and positive energy contained particles. These were the questions were arised at that time. Dirac solved the negative energy problem by introducing the negative energy levels in the vacuum or in the Dirac sea, and he introduced a new negative energy particle called the positron also. According to Dirac, virtual particles or virtual fields are present in the negative energy levels. Whenever they gain sufficient amount of energy, they comes to the real world. This concept clearly says the presence of energy in the vacuum and that energy nature is virtual. Friends, in 1963, Richard Feynman introduced virtual particles exchange in his diagrams of quantum electrodynamics. There he clearly explained the presence and actions of virtual particles in vacuum. This is a brief history about how the people were started to think about the virtual energy and the virtual particles. Friends, now I'm going to talk about scientific evidences in theoretical and practical measurements of vacuum energy. First, the Casimir force and quantum vacuum fluctuations. In 1948, Hendrik Casimir predicted a virtual particle presence should exert a attractive force between two closely placed parallel metallic plates in vacuum, and also calculated the force exerted between the plates. This scientific calculation showed the existence of vacuum energy in the form of quantum vacuum fluctuations or in the form of zero-point fluctuations. Friends, look at the above diagram. There are two plates closely placed in the vacuum. They are parallel to each other. The distance between those two plates is very small and it is represented as A. Here, zero-point fluctuations or quantum fluctuations exerted a force between these two plates. The zero-point fluctuations force per unit area gives the zero-point pressure on the plates. This is the force calculated by Hendrik Casimir in 1948. The formula is given here. F is equal to h cross c pi square divided by 240 a to the power of 4, where h is the Planck's constant, c is the velocity of light in vacuum, and a is the distance between the two closely placed parallel plates. This is the first calculation of the Casimir force between the two closely placed parallel plates in the vacuum. This force is arised because of the radiation pressure or the virtual zero-point fluctuations pressure on the two surfaces of the metallic plates. This force is called the Casimir force. In 1940, Lamb observed the splitting in the energy levels of the hydrogen atom in the order of 1000 megahertz. This shift in the energy levels of the electron in the hydrogen atom is called the Lamb shift. Hans Bethe explained the shift in the energy levels of the hydrogen atom as is due to the interaction of electrons with the radiations. Those are really exist in the vacuum. Bethe's explanation was almost confirmed the sign of existence of virtual zero-point fluctuations in the vacuum. Dear friends, another one evidence is the virtual particles in Feynman's quantum electrodynamics. Friends, in 1923, A.H. Compton found that the light scattered from a particle at rest is shifted in wavelength. This is what is known as Compton scattering. The same Compton scattering was explained by Feynman in his diagram as follows. Friends, in this Feynman diagram, straight lines represents particles and virtual particles, and the wavy lines represents the electromagnetic radiations or photons. Friends, vacuum itself behaves like a dielectric. It spurts virtual positron-electron pairs, or it contains virtual electron-positron pairs. Whenever an electromagnetic radiation is incident on a target charged particle in the vacuum, the virtual electron present in the vacuum is attracted towards target charged particle and the virtual positron is repelled away from the target charged particle. The resulting vacuum polarization partially screens the target charge and reduces its field. This reduction in the field or alteration in the field of target charged particle makes the change in the wavelength of the scattered electromagnetic radiation. So the conclusion is because of the virtual electrons and positrons present in the vacuum polarization take place. Because of this vacuum polarization, the wavelength of the scattered radiation alters in this case of Compton effect. So this Feynman explanation on Compton scattering is another one important evidence for the existence of virtual particles in the vacuum. Friends, now I'm going to talk about the experimental confirmation of Casimir effect. In 1996, S.K. Lemorieux practically demonstrated vacuum stress between closely placed conducting surfaces due to the modification of zero-point fluctuations in the vacuum. He measured the vacuum stress in a electromechanical system based on torsion pendulum in the range 0.6 to 10 micrometer. His experimental Casimir force versus distance diagram clearly shows the same nature as that of theoretical Casimir force versus the distance. In 2011, C.M. Wilson and others observed the dynamical Casimir effect in a superconducting circuit consisting of a coplanar transmission line with a tunable electrical length. In their experiment, the rate of change of electrical length can be made very fast by modulating the inductance of a superconducting quantum interference device at high frequencies. Their experimental observations are: first one, creation of real photons. Second one, two-mode squeezing in emitted radiations. These two observations confirms the dynamical Casimir effect in their experiment. Friends, now I would like to talk about some real effects of virtual zero-point fluctuations. In 2001, Bernard Hayes and others explained the Poynting vector and momentum flux of zero-point fluctuations in accelerating frame of reference scattering from quarks and electrons in a matter constitute the acceleration dependent reaction force in a matter. This idea gives the deep connection between the electrodynamics and origin of inertial mass. Inertial mass is the universal property of a matter and is a coupling parameter between the elementary particles of a matter and a force associated with virtual electromagnetic zero-point fluctuations transit through a matter. So, the origin of inertial mass in a matter is due to the interaction between the virtual zero-point fluctuations of vacuum and the elementary particles of a matter. Friends, then what are the applications of zero-point energy? Is it possible for us to use zero-point energy in our daily life works? Friends, at present we don't have any engine that converts the vacuum energy into real practical energy in large scale. There are patents to construct the zero-point energy extraction engines. Friends, there are rumors about the utilization of vacuum energy by aliens in their undefined flying objects. Dear friends, really, the vacuum zero-point energy is the fuel of the future. Thank you for your listening. Best wishes to you all. Jai Karnataka Mata, Jai Bharat Mata. Thank you so much.